What's going on, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm Bowden the Great and I am a huge fan of cozy games. Cozy games have taken the world by storm and 2024 is going to be no different. I'd like to share with you some of the cozier games that I am most excited about that are coming out in 2024 that aren't as popular as some of the more well-known cozier games. Now, if you're not a fan of cozy farming sims, then don't worry because a lot of other types of cozy games on this list are not farming sims. Now, before we get into everything, as always, please do not forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of this cozy gaming news. And also, after we've gone through the list of 20 games, please drop a comment on which of the 20 games you're most excited about. Now, kicking things off, if you love the idea of running your own trinket shop, then Trash Goblin should be at the top of your list. In Trash Goblin, you'll play as a shopkeeping goblin where you uncover and clean trinkets, then upcycle them to sell to endless, colorful, and quirky customers. You can then spend your savings to upgrade your shop, buy new and better tools, and even expand your business to exciting new districts across town. So if you're one of those people who finds watching those satisfying videos of people restoring old antiques, then you'll probably love this game. The general gameplay loop will have you chipping away at lumps of dirt in search for treasures, which you will be able to find everything from discarded toys to even ancient artifacts. You are then able to combine your different findings into strange creations that are then sold to a wide variety of intriguing customers, from humans to even mushroom creatures. It's a super cozy and relaxing game that allows you to play at your own pace and not stress about anything. There is a day cycle which passes as you chip away at your treasures, but there is no real time crunch to finish that day. Also, for those of you who like to have an objective to work towards, there is a criminal empire that you can overthrow, but that is by no means forced upon you and can be tackled at your very leisure. There's currently a demo available on Steam to play, and they're currently showing a 2024 release on Steam. Now that said, they've just become fully funded after only a month of being on Kickstarter, so honestly, while I'm hopeful for a late 2024 release, it may bleed into 2025. Which brings us to our next cozy game, which is of the space farming sim kind. Lightyear Frontier is next on the list, which is basically like a cozy, peaceful Titanfall. That may be a head scratcher, but yep, Lightyear Frontier is a peaceful open world farming adventure set on a planet at the far edge of the galaxy. You'll be able to work from both inside and outside your mech with up to 3 friends, farming alien crops, building your homestead, and exploring a vast untamed world. This one really looks and feels like a No Man's meets Titanfall meets cozy farming, which I just cannot get enough of. You'll be able to upgrade and personalize your mech robotic limb by limb, along with buying and selling crops that you've grown. Even more, you'll be able to explore a cozy planet that's scattered with ancient ruins for you to uncover its secrets. And if you're worried about monsters, then fear not, because the devs have already confirmed that there will not be any combat in the game, so expect a 100% relaxing game. Now, I've actually already played the demo at this point, and I can confirm that this game checks off all the boxes. And luckily for us, this game is actually coming to early access in March of 2024, and if you want to see more gameplay, you can always check it out on my channel. Now, sticking to the theme of space, this next game will also take you out into the cosmos, but instead of farming, you'll be cooking. In Space Chef, you'll conquer the final frontier with nothing but your grandma's recipe book and your trusty spatula. In this 2D open world action adventure game, you'll explore alien planets, harvest exotic ingredients, and cook cosmic cuisines. Now, a little disclaimer, while this game has a cozy vibe to it, it does have a bit of combat that's required for some of the more aggressive creatures you'll come across, so if that's not your thing, then this game might not be for you. You'll be able to upgrade your home from a simple space trailer to a galactic palace, along with upgrade your ship to defend yourself from space pirates that are dead set on killing you for your Krabby Patty formula. You'll basically act as your own space DoorDash with your meals and hand deliver meals to hungry customers while dodging space pirates. Now, compared to the other true cozy games, this one might be a little bit more on the intense side, given it's got hunting and space combat, but I always think a little intensity makes kicking back at your home and doing some building that much more cozy. Now, this one is listed on Steam as a 2024 release date, but no specific months nor hints of the actual months has been released. That said, this had a playable demo at the Tokyo Game Show back in September of 2023, so I actually feel pretty good about the 2024 release date. It may just not be available till the 3rd or 4th quarter. The next game will be sending you back to Earth to play as a vampire barista that's been awakened after a 500-year slumber. Brocula will have you earning money through part-time jobs, exploring the town, salvaging your ruined castle, and enhancing your vampire skills. There is a demo available which I highly recommend checking out. I even played it on my channel if you'd rather just watch someone else play it. This game has got it all though, from tending to your farm next to your castle to performing unholy sacraments at the local church and drinking from the townspeople. The demo really only gives you a small taste of the game itself, but I'm excited to check this one out when it releases at the end of March. The game was supposed to originally release at the end of January 2024, but was pushed back due to being a solo dev, so I'd feel pretty confident the end of March is a real launch date. Now this next game is super unique, and if you especially enjoy idle games that progress as you do other things, then you'll probably love this one as well. Rusty's Retirement is a super relaxing idle farming sim that actually sits at the bottom of your PC screen while you do other things. Now, as a content creator, I'm constantly working on my PC, so being able to slowly farm away as I do other things like edit my next YouTube video is pretty awesome. Now, you'll be able to switch between closer views and more minimized views depending on how active you're playing the game. You will start off with a much smaller area that'll expand as you progress through the game with the help of cute little robots that will do all the farming for you. Your crops can then be turned back into biofuel to power your robots or sold for a profit to reinvest it back into your farm. Currently, Rusty's Retirement is showing a launch date of Q1 2024. Now, I'm a huge fan of games that take you to new worlds to explore and build alongside nature and not against nature. Honeycomb: The World Beyond is a survival sandbox game set on an exuberant planet called Soda 7. Now this game is a bit different than your typical survival game where you'll actually get to play your hand at bioengineering by crossbreeding various types of plants and animals. This one does have a survival element to it, so if you're a fan of No Man's Sky, then you'll probably like this one as well. The base building mechanic kind of reminds me a lot of Subnautica, at least with like the architectural style, which I absolutely love. And the animals look adorable and mostly non-hostile. It's hard to tell early on, but it doesn't look like there's any direct combat, and that maybe you'll have to pacify peacefully any hostile animals, which as an animal lover, I appreciate. The game overall is a very unique concept that I hope allows for lots of different crossbreeding options. Currently the game is showing a release of Q3 2024, which has been moved a few times at this point, so there's maybe a little bit of a slight concern that this game will get pushed again into 2025. Time will tell though. Now, if you love gardening or turning an overgrown farm into a beautiful aesthetic masterpiece, then the game Garden Life: A Cozy Simulator will be your dream game. The story is that you're in charge of an abandoned community garden that you're tasked with restoring to its former glory. You'll be given tasks by your neighbors to earn rewards, unlock new tools, seeds, ornaments, and even new areas of the garden. You'll even be able to sell flowers that you've grown at your very own stall in town. You'll be able to play through the changing seasons, and don't worry about plants dying at season change because the devs have already confirmed that all flowers will thrive no matter what season you're in. And there's also a creative mode if you don't want to play through the story and only just want to design the garden of your dreams. Garden Life will be released February 22nd, 2024, so it's just around the corner at this point. This next game will have you sailing across the open seas to settle a new cozy farm. Echoes of the Plum Grove will have you building a thriving community in the town of Honeywood. I love the art style of the game, which reminds me of Paper Mario and has a very nostalgic feel to it. Echoes of the Plum Grove has your standard farming style sim start, say that 3 times fast, where you grow your small overgrown farm into something beautiful. There is a lot of depth to this game, and you'll be able to build your own family tree as you play and have children. Not only that, your characters will age and pass away, leaving the farm to your children that you will then play through. You can not only befriend NPCs, but you can also insult them and make them enemies. It's overall a very unique take at a cozy farming sim style game that I really look forward to playing, and has been described as both a combination of Stardew Valley and the Oregon Trail. Currently on Steam, they're showing a release of 2024, and the devs have mentioned they're shooting for a mid-2024, around June timeframe for release. Now, speaking of unique games, this next game, not only the concept is one of a kind, but the art style itself is even super unique and very cute. Critter Crops will have you playing as Sylvie, a newfound witch who has been chased out of her hometown for being a witch, which is what takes her to Mutter Island. You attempt to restore the island back to its former glory by growing critter crops and uncovering the secrets of the island. As you continue to play and progress through the story, you'll get to meet other unique characters seeking refuge. You'll be able to repair buildings in town to have them move in permanently. Now, I love horror games and I love cozy games, so to combine them into a kind of a cute, cozy monster game is the perfect blend. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more from this one. Now, you should expect this game to launch around Q1 of 2024, so be sure to wishlist the game so you do not forget. If you're a fan of 90s anime art style and farming sims, then this game will be right up your alley. Fields of Mistria will have you restore the town of Mistria back to its former glory after an earthquake wreaked havoc, which also at the same time caused a mysterious magic to begin flowing through the land. Now, this one seems like your typical cookie cutter farming sim dynamic with plenty of romanceable candidates and an adventure with an extra dash of magic. I'm a huge farming sim guy, so I'm about it regardless. And I'm coming for you, Juniper, so get ready to fall in love with me. This game will have it all from ranching to fishing to even fighting enemies in the ancient ruins. The Steam page shows a release date of 2024, but at this point it's hard to pinpoint what part of it, So personally, I'd guess a Q3 or Q4 2024, since there isn't anything mentioned of a more specific time. Now the next game I want to talk about is from the same studio as Graveyard Keeper, and will have you playing as quite possibly the cutest character I've ever seen. In Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story, you'll play as a shy Yordle that's living in Yarnville, which is a cozy little island that, believe it or not, is obsessed with all things knitting. You set out to travel through the portals in Yarnville that connect Bandle City to everything, but just as you're about to enter, something goes wrong and the portal collapses. You're tasked with enlisting the help of new friends to restore the portals to a working order so you can reunite with Bandle City. Now, I just love the cozy art style of the game, and you'll be able to run your own stand and sell food that you've grown on your little Yordle farm. You'll also be able to gift that same food to your friends to increase your relationship level with them. You can expect this game to launch February 21st of 2024, which is only a week away. Now this next game is a bit more different compared to the other games we talked about thus far, but if you're a fan of the cyberpunk genre, then Nivalis might be up your alley. In Nivalis, you'll grow your own business, manage restaurants and nightclubs, make friends and enemies, spend your earnings to buy and decorate apartments, go fishing, and maybe even find love. Now it does sound like a mouthful, but yeah, this game has a lot to offer. I just find the aesthetics to be super cozy, and living in a cyberpunk city like this is a dream come true. You'll start off with your own small food stall and grow that into running your own bar or restaurant, which you'll be able to decorate accordingly. The art style itself is very interesting, as it appears to be a blend of a more realistic style with voxel style. Regarding the release date, unfortunately we don't have any specifics, and the fact that they've confirmed a 2024 release date back in October of 2023 with no update since then is slightly concerning. So for now, I'd guess this to be a late 2024 release. The next game we'll look into may at first glance look like just your typical pixelated style farming sim, but it's got a bit more depth than most of your standard farming sim style games. In Pixelshire, you'll actually build and grow your own community that blends life sim elements with town building, exploration, and combat. My favorite feature that I've seen so far is that you can actually terraform the land around you to either make your town feature lots of rivers and ponds, or maybe even lots of mountains and cliffs. Another really cool feature that I haven't seen done before in this kind of game is you can actually get the townspeople to not only follow you around, but they can even assist you in things like cutting down trees, depending on whatever profession they're in. Now there will be normal things to do like farming, ranching, fishing, building relationships, and cooking. Pixelshire just has so much to offer that has me really excited to check it out. They announced back in late November of 2023 that the game will release in full 1.0 access in 2024 instead of releasing in early access last year. There isn't a specific release date yet, but I'm sure we'll hear something in the next coming months. Now at this point, we've covered a few cozy farming sims and cozy space games, but what about a game that combines both elements? In Farlands, you'll purchase an entire planet far, far away and move you and your ship to this new planet. And luckily for us, the planet is cultivatable, so you'll be able to plant and grow your crops like any normal farming sim. There's also an exploration element where you'll be able to travel to different planets and moons to collect different resources to take them back home with you to upgrade not only your farm, but also your ship and many other things. There are also other humans and aliens living on these planets that you'll be able to converse with and get to know. There really isn't too much info out there other than that, but I'm really hoping that they'll have a little bit more in-depth relationship system, which would set it apart from other space farming sims. Like if you're able to maybe invite other humans or aliens from other planets to move onto your planet, that would be pretty awesome. After being disappointed about One Lonely Outpost, I'm really hoping Farlands can live up to a good space farming sim. Currently, Steam shows a release of 2024, but there really isn't much information other than that. There was a playable demo during 2023 Gamescom, so hopefully we'll hear more on the release date, but for now, I'd guess late 2024 release. Now, we've already covered a few unique cozy games, but this one might have the most unique look to it all around, and I'm in love with everything about it. The Garden Path is such a unique and beautiful game, unique in art style and unique in gameplay. The game itself is more of a cozy gardening sim that also has fishing, home decorating, and quests with a variety of strange but cute characters. The devs themselves also advertise that the game itself is designed to be played in short 10 to 30 minute bursts, as the game itself has a real-time progression, so your garden will grow as you are away, sort of like an Animal Crossing. And honestly, if I had to give an award for the coziest game that we've covered on this list, it would probably have to be this one. There will also be co-op as well, so you can invite your friends to help out with your garden. The fact that the game doesn't push you to play more and more and purely at your own pace of play is something you don't really see all that often. Now, the game has been in development for a few years now, so I'd say that the Steam release date of spring 2024 is a pretty accurate date, and I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Now, it's starting to look like 2024 is going to be the year of cozy space sims, because the next game on my list is Cozynauts. In Cozynauts, you'll start your very own space colony with your trusty robot companion named Roboto. You'll be able to explore the planet's various biomes, build up your colony by crafting new gear and buildings, farm, fish, discover aliens, and even explore the alien mines. On top of that, the game will also be co-op so you can invite your friend to play with you. This game sort of feels like Animal Crossing had a baby with No Man's Sky, which I love both games, so that's perfect for me. You'll be able to recruit NPC colonists as you build up your colony, and they'll be able to open shops and provide you with additional services. While this game is cozy, it does have a little bit of combat while in the overworld and while down in the dungeons, but it doesn't seem to be the focus of the game, so it really shouldn't sour your experience if that's not your thing. Steam is showing a March 28th, 2024 release date, and since they've got a demo out already, I think it's pretty fair to say it'll likely launch then, or if not around then. Now this next game I'm going to cover is actually already out at this point, as it came out January 31st and is actually a DLC to an existing game. Eastward is a pixelated RPG adventure where you play as both John and Sam, traveling and fighting your way through a borderline collapsed society, which might not sound very cozy, but the new DLC, Eastward Octopia, will actually have you starting a new life in the village of Octopia. The DLC occurs in a parallel universe of the base game, where instead of fighting, John and Sam decide to start their new life in Octopia in order to fix things from within. You'll be able to grow crops, raise animals, and fish in the local fishing holes. All the while, as you tend to your new farm, you'll also develop an abandoned theme park into a thriving community by constructing and upgrading homes and shops that will lure in new neighbors. The art style is beautiful, and the base game itself is extremely popular for good reasons, so it's pretty safe to say that this cozy farming DLC will likely check all the right boxes if that's your thing. Like I mentioned before, the game's already out as I'm writing this, so definitely go check it out. This next game is probably the least cozy game out of all the games we've covered so far, but I think it's still got a unique cozy element, even though the coziness isn't the focus. Mirthwood is a RPG life sim with a medieval fantasy sandbox element that really lets you play however you choose to play, whether that be as a humble farmer managing your homestead by harvesting crops and raising animals, or a fearless adventurer traveling from town to town fighting your way through bandits and even werewolves, or even a little of both. You'll meet and befriend townsfolk and NPCs across Mirthwood with a sim-style interaction that as you gain trust with someone, you'll get access to different quests. This one is going to be one of those games, though, that you'll probably want to enjoy survival and combat elements before going into. The art style and general gameplay seem interesting enough. I think this one will definitely be one of those wait till I have more information on, though. The other promising thing about this game is that the devs have said that they draw a lot of influence from the Fable series, which is fantastic. Steam shows a release date of 2024, and while it's certainly possible this comes out in 2024, it is slightly concerning that this game has been in development for quite some time now, 4 years to be exact, and this appears to be the devs' first game. Time will tell though. I wouldn't expect it till later in 2024 at the earliest though. Phew, we're almost there. We've already covered a pretty massive list of farming sims, so what's one more to add to the list at this point? The Ranchers is next on the list, which is sort of a combination of a lot of elements. It's obviously got a bit more focus on ranching than growing your farm, but you can do both. It's almost more of a cross between a life sim and a farming sim, as you get as detailed as managing your own electricity and water use. You'll also be able to play with up to 3 other friends, which is always fun. You'll be able to do lots of things like exploring nearby islands and shipwrecks to building and decorating your own home. I actually played a bit of the game in early access, and really my only gripe was I wasn't a fan of the art style, which ironically was announced that the devs were going to rebuild the whole game art style back in November of 2023, so hopefully they'll make it look a little bit better now. Now that said, for a game supposedly releasing per Steam in 2024, rebuilding the art style that late in 2023 is pretty concerning this late in the game. That said, the devs have indicated that they still plan on releasing in 2024, so I guess you're probably looking at more of a late 2024. We have one final game on our list, which has been quite the impressive list. The final game out of the 20 cozy games we'll be covering is none other than Sugardew Island. They've already nailed the name as it combines 2 of my favorite farming sim games with an extra bit of sugar. Stardew Valley and Coral Island, plus some sugar, and you get Sugardew Island. You'll run your own farm shop as you take care of not only your farm but also your animals. You'll upgrade your island and do what you can to bring the Great Harmony Tree back to life and restore what once was. This one is fairly new, as the devs just went public with this game literally a couple weeks ago, so there's not much information on this one. This game looks a lot like Harvest Moon series in terms of art style and gameplay, which I love. Currently, Steam is showing a second quarter of 2024 release, which I feel for certain is not the case, as they still plan on funding through Kickstarter. Now, I know it's not technically a 2024 launch, but I could see this one most likely launching in 2025. I could be wrong though. What a massive list of great cozy games that is going to make 2024 the year of the cozy game. I'm super excited to play every single one of these games, and I hope you are as well. And also don't forget to let me know in the comments which games you're most excited for, as you promised that you would at the beginning of the video. I think for me it's a toss-up between Eastward Octopia or Fields of Mistria. And as always, thanks for watching YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.